Dear students, in today's lecture we will discuss vector space, its definition and several important examples. Before starting vector space, first of all we must know about definition of a field, and here we are talking over algebra and linear algebra section of mathematics. It's not about field of any physical quantity or like that. It's just about certain algebraic or linear algebraic concepts. And as per that, for defining a field, we are talking over a set F which is containing at least two elements. And at this moment, it is important to know which two elements are those. It is about 0 and 1. Those two must be the minimum requirement of set F, and then there may be any number of elements in set F, and with that set F we have two operations, two simple mathematical operations, plus and means addition and dot means multiplication. And if we club these three together in this fashion, F comma plus comma dot, then it is actually known as an algebraic structure or simply a structure, a set with two operations, and we have to check the conditions under which it becomes, means the structure F plus dot becomes a field. For that, in and all total 11 constraints are to be satisfied, and their names are also mentioned. These are the simple constraints to understand. Number 1, a plus b belongs to F for all a comma b belongs to F, that is plus or sign of positive as binary operation. Binary operation means, say if there are two elements of set F and we add them together, that is we are using the operation plus in between the elements, and the result comes again as set of element set of F, set F, that is, say if set F is set of natural numbers and I am adding two numbers, say 1 and 5, then 1 plus 5 is 6 is coming again as a natural number. So sum of two elements of F comes as element of F again. It is just about that binary operation property. Then second one, simple associative law of addition. If we have to add three elements of set F, then it hardly matters that we are adding in which order, either a plus b then plus c, or the a plus b plus c. So it's about simple associative law. Then as I already mentioned, 0 and 1 have to be there. So if 0 is element of F which is working as identity element of addition, means 0 plus any element a equals to a again, or a plus 0 equals to a again, means 0 is ineffective while addition. So it's identity element of addition for set F. Then additive invert, that is if we add minus a in a where a is any element of F, minus a must also be an element of F, then the result must come as 0, that is identity element of F. Or if we reverse the order of addition, still it must be 0. Then simple commutative property of addition, that is if we add two elements of set F, then the order must be commutative. A plus b equals to b plus a for any two elements of set F. And then same five properties are almost there from 6 to 10 for multiplication, like a plus b is now a into b belongs to F for all a comma b belongs to F, that is dot means multiplication is as a binary operation there. So if we have two elements of F and we multiply them, the result is again coming as element of F. Then if we multiply any three elements of set F in any order, the result remains same. And then identity element of multiplication is nothing but that 1 which has to be element of F. And if we multiply 1 with a or a with 1, result must come a for any element of set F. A is any element of set F. Then Multiplicative inverse means A inverse means 1 upon A. So 1 upon A into A or A into 1 upon A must come as 1, which is identity element of set F. But this property is not for all elements of F. It is to be mentioned clearly, and you have to understand it clearly that this property is for all all elements of set F minus 0. Means except 0 all elements of F are included in this property. Why 0 is not included? Because that A inverse for 0 it will become 1 upon 0, that is infinite, which can't be element of any set. That's why here it is to be mentioned for F minus 0 set only. Then commutative property of multiplication, if we multiply any two elements of set F, then A into B and B into A must come equal in all the cases. And then finally distributive property of multiplication over addition, that is A into B plus C equals to A into B plus A into C all the time for all ABC belongs to F. And if B plus C into A is there, then again it is to be distributive, that is it is equals to B into A plus C into A for all ABC belongs to F. So if any set F with two operations plus and multiplication follows these all 11 axioms, then we can say that that particular structure is a filled, and we have to remember these all points all the time as far as the definition of field is concerned. Now we start defining a vector space. As you can see that definition is written there. We start with defining a field again. If F plus dot is a field, which we discussed in previous slide, then we talk over a set V which is to be non-empty obviously, and it is called a vector space. Here vector does not mean that vector which we defined in physics or mechanics with magnitude and direction etc. It is used here in linear algebra portion of mathematics, and it is used because a vector means a term having components, as far as we discussed in physics, and here we also club certain components. That's why the term vector is used here. And that set V which is non-empty is to be called a vector space over filled F if for two certain binary compositions it further follows these all axioms like we were discussing in previous slide for filled. So here two binary compositions are to be discussed initially, then we will talk about remaining portion. First of all, first binary composition is vector addition. Practically we discuss its meaning, that is vector addition is a binary composition means if we add any two elements of set V, any two elements of set V are added and the result again comes as element of set V. That is about vector addition as binary composition. Then scalar multiplication as binary composition, practically what does that mean? If you take one element of set F and then you multiply it with one element of set V, that means one element of set F is taken, one element of set V is taken, element of F is multiplied with element of set V, and the result comes as element of set V. Then we say that that is the process of scalar multiplication, and it will be considered as a scalar multiplication throughout the chapter of vector space, that is element of F, because filled F is called a scalar here. That's why scalar multiplication term is there. So whenever an element of set F is multiplied with the element of set V, it is called scalar multiplication, and the result is to become as element of set V again. So we can say scalar multiplication is again a binary composition. So that is about two requirements. Then V1 to V5, five axioms are to be satisfied. Then only we can say that set V is called a vector space over filled F. First axiom V1, which is written as V comma plus, is an additive abelian group, and that is further bifurcated in four components. So V1 means V11, 12, 13 and 14, four different constraints. First one is very simple. If three elements of set V are there, then addition wise they have to follow the associative law, means alpha plus bracket beta plus gamma equals to bracket alpha plus beta then plus gamma. That is, if three elements are added, the order hardly matters. So that is about associative law of addition for vector V. Then second one, additive identity 0 for vector v, that is 0 belongs to v is there, such that if we add 0 and alpha together or alpha and 0 together, means 0 plus alpha or alpha plus 0, in both the cases result must come as alpha, where alpha is any element of v, means 0 is not putting any effect in addition, that's why it's additive identity for vector v. So up to this, for v11 and v12 we are talking over cases of vector v only, or definitions, all these properties for vector v only, set v only. Then we will mix set f also in v13, that is v13 and 14. In all four cases, v11 to v14 we will talk over set v only. Then we will mix from v2 to v5, f and v mix. Here in v13, say for alpha which is non-zero element of set v, say alpha inverse also exists, that is 1 upon alpha also exists of v, such that if we add these two, alpha and alpha inverse, in any order, that is alpha plus alpha inverse or alpha inverse plus alpha, it must come as 0, which is identity element of vector. So it is called, alpha inverse is called additive inverse of alpha. Then commutative law for addition of two vectors, two elements of set v, that is alpha plus beta and beta plus alpha are equal. So that is about satisfaction of first axiom and four different parts of that, v1. Then v2, a dot alpha plus beta must come, a b c d etc will come as elements of f, and alpha beta gamma are to be taken as elements of set v throughout this definition. So here set f's element a is multiplied with alpha plus beta, then a dot alpha plus beta, that distributive property is there, equals to a dot alpha plus a dot beta. And then addition of two scalars means elements of set f. So a plus b dot alpha must come as a dot alpha plus b dot alpha is v3. Then v4, a into b, our dot is obviously there, so a into b product of two elements of set f, then outside multiplied with alpha means element of set v must be associative like this, that is a taken outside and b dot alpha inside. If it comes for, it happens for all a b belongs to f and all alpha belongs to b, then v4 is satisfied. And finally v5, where one is unit element of filled f, one is element of f and alpha is any element of v, and we multiply these two, it must always come as alpha. If all v, that is v1 to v5 are satisfied for any set v which is non-empty, then it is called a vector space over filled f. So it was about basic definition of vector space. In next slide we will discuss about several important examples of vector space. Now we talk over first example, where we have to prove that every field is a vector space over its subfield. First of all, we talk over subfield. Say if f is a field and h is a non-zero subset of f, such that h comma plus comma dot itself becomes a field, then h is to be said as a subfield of f. Now we have to talk over two initial requirements for f h to be a vector space, because field means f, subfield means h, so f h is to be a vector space. In theory we were saying vf, in place of v now we have f, in place of f we have h in this problem. And for that, first closure property or binary operation property was that two elements of v added together to provide element of v again. Here in place of v we have f, so two elements of f which is filled added together will obviously provide element of f again, because f is a field as per definition of field we can say. Then one element of h and one element of f taken and then multiplied together, the result must come as element of f as per second requirement for definition of vector space. And as we can say, element of h means again element of f, because h is subset of f. So a and x are two elements of f multiplied together will again provide element of f, because f is a field. So that is about two initial requirements. Then v1 to v5, v1 was v plus 2b and abelian group, means v11, v12, v13, v14, four properties. Those four properties will easily hold good for f plus because f itself is a field. So we are using all the 11 axioms of definition of field here for favor of this example. And then v2, for every element a belongs to field, field is h here, subfield is playing the role of field, and field is playing the role of vector v. So a belongs to h and alpha beta belongs to f. Can easily be said that a into alpha plus beta equals to a alpha plus a beta because of property of field f again, because a belongs to h means a belongs to f again, h is subset of f. So a alpha beta all three elements of f, and using distributivity of field out of those 11th number property, that result can easily be obtained. Then reverse of 11th number property will provide v3, ab belongs to h and alpha belongs to f, means all three belongs to f because h is subset of f. And then a plus b alpha is obviously a alpha plus b alpha using 11th number property of distributivity in definition of field. Then taken two elements a b belongs to h and alpha belongs to f, means all three belongs to element of f only, and all three elements of f are multiplied in any form will provide results, same results. That means property of field is, or definition of field is utilized again. And if one is the unit element of h means unit element of h means element of f also, and alpha is any element of f, and 1 and alpha is product of two elements of f. One is multiplicative identity of f using definition of field again, that result is obtained. So it is a short kind of problem, not a lengthy problem, a lesser marks oriented problems where all properties of field f are utilized well to complete this problem, complete the solution of this problem. In next slide we will discuss one more important problem of vector space. Now the set Fn of all ordered n tuples of a field f is a vector space over the field f. So field is f plus dot, and in place of vector v or set v, we have set f power n, which is made by elements of f and tuples created by elements of f, like fn has these kind of element a1 a2 up to an, where all components a1 up to an are elements of field f, and as it is ordered n tuples, so the places can't be changed. Now we take any two elements alpha and beta of v, v means f power n, taken as a1 a2 an up to b1 and then b1 b2 bn, and if we add these two alpha plus beta, then as per the property of n tuple, it is simple n tuple as a1 plus b1 comma a2 plus b2 up to an plus bn. And scalar multiplication is defined as a is taken as element of field f and alpha is defined there. A into alpha means a into a1 a2 up to an is a1 a2 up to an as per the properties of n tuple. And because of this all, we can say that alpha and beta added together, this result is also element of v means fn. That is first binary operation satisfied there. Why? Because a1 plus b1 a2 plus b2 up to an b plus bn all will be elements of f. a1 b1 a2 b2 all are elements of f, so their additions must be elements of f, and if these all are elements of f, then that n tuple is that element of f power n means v, set v. And then a into alpha means a into a1 a2 up to an, that is also defined there, and for that a simple element of f and alpha means that one, that result a into alpha is again element of f power n. Why? Because a1 comma a2 up to an all are separate elements of f. So if all are separate elements of f, then that n tuple is element of f power n. So it is about two initial binary operations concept. Then we talk over v1 to v5 for finally saying that f power n is a vector space over field f. We talk over v1. v1 is directly written, can easily be verified that f power n is an abelian group for all. For addition defined above, 0 comma 0 comma 0 is identity element, and minus of alpha, that is minus a1 up to minus a2 an belongs to fn additive inverse. So In short, it's written that V1 is satisfied. Then V2, scalar multiplication distributive over vector addition means A belongs to F and alpha comma beta defined there belongs to Fn. Then A into alpha plus beta is simply A into, that is alpha plus beta, as you can see, and then A is multiplied with separate elements. Then A is separated using property of field F, and then finally in reverse order it is sum of the two n tuples, and then A is taken as common, and then it is A alpha plus A beta. So A into alpha plus beta is A alpha plus A beta, means V2 is also satisfied. Then we talk over V3, for which we take A comma B belongs to F and alpha belongs to F power n, means alpha is A1 A2 up to An. So A plus B into alpha means A plus B into A1 A2 up to An. Simple operations are being performed there. Then A plus B taken inside with A1 A2 An multiplied, then it is multiplied with further parts A1 plus BA1 comma A2 plus BA2 up to An plus BAN. Then it is broken in as sum of two n doubles A1 comma A2 comma An plus BA1 comma BA2 up to BAN. A is taken common, B is taken common from these two n tuples. Finally, it is A into alpha plus B into alpha. So simple properties of n tuples are utilized to prove V3. Then we talk over V4. Associative or scalar multiplication, two elements of field F are taken as AB and alpha, means A1 A2 up to An of F power n, then multiplied together. AB taken inside, then A is taken as common outside and B is inside, then B is taken as common inside that n tuple. So it's A into B into alpha. So V4 is also satisfied. For V5 we have one element of F, alpha element of F, and so 1 into alpha is 1 into A1 A2 up to An, that is 1A1, one taken inside, 1A2 up to 1An, and then 1A1 means A1, 1A2 means A2 up to 1An means An. So it is equals to alpha only, so 1 alpha is alpha. So it is a simple kind of problem where all the properties of n tuple are utilized well to prove all 5 axioms are satisfied for the given problem. That means F and F is a vector space.